Okay, the next concept that I want to touch on would be relationship questions. So for relationship question, right, it is very straightforward, nothing very complex. The first thing you need to do is to identify the change variable and the measured variable. There are two ways of doing it. In fact, for all experiment questions, you should identify your change variable and your measured variable. The two ways to do it is, once you can read the whole thing. Okay, for example, investigate the effect of length of stretched plastics. Okay, and then after that, this would be my change variable. And then this part over here, distance traveled by object Z, would be my measured variable. You can do that, or the more straightforward way to double confirm is to take a look at the results. So what is being changed? So this length of stretch rubber band is the change one. This is actually your change variable. And what is being measured? Distance moved. This is your measured variable. So when they ask you what is the relationship between the length of stretched elastic band, this part over here, you have to identify what is your change and measured variable in your question itself. So over here, this is your change variable. And your measured variable is actually over here. Distance moved by object Z. So very simple, you just need to say, alright, how the change variable affects the measured variable. Please copy exactly how the question statement is. Alright, so what do I mean by that? So you would say, before that, to help us do this easier, look at your change variable to see how does it work, in which direction. So I will draw an arrow and then I will say, hey, is this increasing or decreasing? So 15, 20, 25, this is increasing. And then after that, when you take a look at it, okay, you will also know that as it increases, as the length of stretched elastic band increases, your distance travels also increases. So by doing this, it helps you clarify your thoughts and formulate your relationship. So how do I pen this down? So the format is as my change variable increases. So the change variable, I'm going to use pink color. So as follow whatever is in the question statement, as length of the stretched elastic band increases, comma, then we change back to purple, okay, and then you put in your measured variable, distance moved by object Z increases. So this is a relationship question. Now my final note for relationship question is that sometimes the answer for relationship question can be related to an answer for conclusion question. Now the difference between a relationship question and a conclusion question is that a relationship question is pretty straightforward. You just need to answer according to what the question is giving you. That means your change variable, and you need to relate your change variable to your measured variable. Now, but for a conclusion question, you have to answer the aim. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So sometimes in a photosynthesis question, when you think about it, you have number of bubbles being produced at different light intensity. So you can say that as light intensity increases, number of bubbles increases. That is relationship, right? It's very straightforward. You are counting the number of bubbles. However, if let's just say they ask you, what can you conclude from this experiment? You will need to look at the question. Was there an aim? So for example, if they say Alice wanted to investigate if light intensity affects photosynthesis. So you see, the word photosynthesis occurred, but you're counting bubbles. So you cannot say, oh, increasing light intensity increases number of bubbles. It does not answer the aim. You're